What's up, y'all? It's Real Talk with Deuce. Listen, thank you so much for sharing my videos the way that you have again. And also for your patience. Thank you for being patient with me as I get these messages out. We have a lot to cover today, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I want to talk to those in a desperate place. I want to talk to those who are overwhelmed. Listen, I know that you've done everything that you can to stay above water, and I commend you for that. Your strength is noticed. And I know that things are happening really fast, and you might not know how to get everything in order right now, but just because you have a lot on your plate doesn't mean that you're not ready, doesn't mean that you're not equipped or unable to handle it. See, God will never put more on your shoulders than what you can bear. So if you're still standing, if you're still breathing, then I know that you can make it. You can be who it is that you were called to be. You can do what it is that you were called to do. Look, sometimes God wants us in a desperate place, because when we get to that desperate place, we tend to lay down our own logic and we start asking for higher help. Now, God's ways are higher than ours. As far as the heavens is from the earth, that's how high His thoughts are from ours. Now, we can tap into those thoughts, but it takes a lot of us to get to that desperate place in order to get there. Now, I want to talk to you tonight using Peter as an example. Now, we all know Peter. And if you don't, a quick summary on him. Peter's the guy who walked on water with Jesus. There was a big storm. He was on a boat. He looked out into the storm. He saw Jesus. Jesus was there. And he ended up saying, "Jesus, if it be you, call me. Tell me to get out of this boat and go to you." Jesus said, "Come." He jumps out the boat, and he has his eyes on Jesus, so he's walking on the water. He takes his eyes off Jesus onto the storm, and he ends up sinking. Then he calls out to Jesus. Jesus comes, rescues him, takes him back to the boat. Okay, so we all now know the story, or a story when it comes to Peter. Now let's take a closer look at that story, because there's a phrase that says you get what you focus on. And that's true to an extent, but it's missing a vital word in that phrase. You don't necessarily get what you focus on. You get what you focus on consistently. See, consistency is key. It was the lack of consistency that had Peter sink in the first place. Now you might say, well, no, Darren, he was scared, and fear brings you down, and that's why he sank. Well, let's think about that for a second, because before he even jumped on to the water, he was scared. Before he even made a first move, he was scared, but he still moved. He still jumped out and walked on water. See, you might be in a scary place in your life right now, but that shouldn't stop you. What stopped Peter was the lack of continuous focus. Now, what is focus? Focus is a clear visual definition. So if you don't have a clear, definite vision, then whatever is going on around you is going to be pulling at you, is going to want to overtake you. In fact, it's going to do its best to become your identity. Now, the part that blows my mind about this whole story with Peter is that all three events, from him jumping onto the water, from him sinking, and then from him being rescued, were all representations of his mindset. See, his belief in God and Jesus had him jump out of a boat and walk on water, right? His lack of continuous focus, or his doubt, had him sinking, right? But it was his desperateness that had him rescued by Jesus. See, I want y'all to really understand this. It wasn't until Peter was desperate that he was rescued. Even in the midst of his miracle that was happening between him and Jesus, he saw his storm as something that is bigger than what was going on with him and Jesus. And that's why he was sinking. See, you might be sinking in your storm because you believe more in your storm than you do your Savior. Now, if that's the case, then it's okay, because Peter thought that too. He thought that what was going on around him was bigger than the miracle happening on the inside of him. But what happened when he started sinking is what blows my mind. He then forgot everything that he thought about himself. He forgot all the doubt. All he wanted at that point was Jesus. And that's when he was rescued. And it wasn't just Peter, though. See, so what I'm trying to get you to understand is that where you are right now in this desperate zone, this desperate vibe that you have, that you're in, God's been waiting for that. You've been thinking, oh man, I'm failing. You might be thinking that you're failing, you're falling, you're going in cycles, nothing's happening. But what you don't understand is that God has been waiting for you to get right where you are, in that desperate place. And it wasn't just Peter. There was the woman with the issue of blood who was so desperate that she got on her hands and her knees and literally crawled through a crowd of thousands to get to Jesus's robe, just to get the hem of his garment to be healed. And there was another story about a man who could not use his legs, right? So he had his friends take him to the top of a roof of the building that Jesus was in, doing miracles. They broke the roof open and lowered him in there. And he was healed. See, you gotta be in a desperate place for Jesus in order to see miracles happen in your life. I'm sorry, I know that, you believe in God. In fact, if you're still listening to this video, I definitely know that you believe in God. But it's not enough to just believe in God and expect miracles. See, if you were drowning next to a boat, just because you know that boat is there doesn't mean that you're going to be saved. When you're drowning next to a boat and there's people on the boat, you got to make some noise. You got to call out to get some help. You got to be shaking, doing something to get some help. And with Jesus, you got to be that desperate to get some help, to be rescued. When you're desperate, your spirit opens up enough to let Jesus come in and heal you, rescue you. So what I'm saying is, I guess the message is, if you're tired of drowning, your rescue, your healing is one desperate call away. Your storm is one desperate call away from being over. What I suggest that you do is get down on your knees, surrender everything. You're good, you're bad, your time, you're ugly, you're right, you're wrong, your status quo, your reputation, your energy. Give it all up and say, God, make me over. Restore me. That is the only way that healing is going to come. Again, you have something great inside of you that is ready to come out, that is ready to be birthed. You are ready to walk on water. But you have to understand that where you are now, you're supposed to be. Be desperate. And if you're not desperate, get desperate. It is time to be desperate for Jesus, because I know that it is time for change. I know that you're looking for something different. I know that you're looking for something better. So why not give your heart to God? Why not give your heart to a God who loves you more than you could even imagine, more than you know what love is, more than the definition of love. He gave his only son for you. He's ready. He is ready for you to want him as bad as he wants you. Eric Thomas, a motivational speaker, says if you want success, you gotta want success better than you gotta breathe. You gotta want success more than you want to breathe in order to be successful. Well, what I'm saying is you gotta want Jesus more than you want anything else on this planet, anything else in your world, in order to see the miracles happen in your life. I used to be afraid to speak about God when it came to the miracles and speaking and asking folks to think about Jesus. But when I really think about it, I've been in so many desperate places now. I understand that what my calling is what I'm supposed to be doing. And whatever you're supposed to be doing, whatever you feel you're supposed to be doing, you still have time to do. As long as you make sure that you understand that there is one power, one great God, and He can take care of you. It's good that you're in that desperate place. Be there. And if you're not there, get there. Give everything you have to God. And I promise you, everything else will work itself out. Everything that you're trying to do by yourself, He'll do for you. Every situation that you want better, He'll make better. It's so simple. It's not easy. This is another Eric Thomas. It's not easy, but it's so simple. The decision is saying yes to God, saying yes to Jesus. Again, if you hear this message, and if you're taking it in, and if anything that I'm saying is making any sense to you, please like it, please share it. Share it to somebody who needs to know God, or share it to somebody who has their head down. Because at the end of the day, we all need help. We all need help, and we all have our own things that we need to deal with. And so let's go ahead and share this message, and let's start changing people's lives together. Again, this is Real Talk with Deuce. Thank you very, very much for listening. I know I'm sweating all over the place, but I do thank you for sticking in and listening to the entire message. If you do feel it, please share it, like I said. And again, stay tuned, because there's going to be much, much more. And also, if I've tagged you in the video and you don't want to hear about God, send me a message, and I will humbly back away. But again, if you want something different, if you want something real, if you want to make change, if you want a closer relationship with God, if you want to just know God, continue to listen to my messages, because from here on out, I'm going to show God. All right. Thank you for listening. I love you all so much, and I speak blessings upon every one of your lives. Have a wonderful one.